Hi everyone, my name is Christy and the focus today is maths phenomenon. Now as you may already know, a phenomenon is a fact, an impressive maths occurrence, a maths miracle, or an event that can be explained using maths. So the maths phenomenon that we're looking at today is symmetry throughout nature. And symmetry is when an object or a shape becomes exactly like another if you flip, slide, or turn it. And this can be seen, for example, with some of the photographs of objects that you see every day throughout nature. So here we've got a flower, and as you can see, when the flower is rotated around a central point, it looks the same regardless of the direction that you turn it in. So we've got our central point here. We can turn the flower around, but it doesn't change its shape. And the same can be seen with this photograph here of a leaf, although this is a different type of symmetry. This is lateral or reflectional symmetry, and it's when you split it down the middle, you have the same on either side. So if we cover up one side of the leaf, as you can see, it's the same on either side. Now, according to Carol Vorderman, many natural and man-made objects are symmetrical in 2 and 3 dimensions. And symmetry can be either rotational, as we saw here with the flower. So when it turns around, it looks the same as it's rotated around the point. Or it can be lateral or reflectional, as a lot of people call it today. And this is when it's reflected on the otherwise of a line or an axis. Now, symmetry may seem a simple concept to understand, but it's really the study and teaching of symmetry that can be presented in a really powerful and beautiful way, especially when we incorporate nature. And this is what the focus is today, symmetry in nature. And the reason I chose this maths phenomenon is to link in with children's prior knowledge. So last week we looked at butterflies and how each of their wings were the same. We created our own butterfly by painting one side of the paper, folding it in half in order to make 2 wings that were exactly the same. And I chose to extend this activity in order to enhance and further the children's learning by making connections to the real world and to nature. Now, working in early childhood as a kindergarten teacher has really given me a lot of opportunities to begin introducing maths to the children, and this is a learning experience that I undertook with my 4-year-old kinder group, and it's called Is It Symmetrical or Nature Walk. So we began by watching a short YouTube video called Symmetry for Kids, and I'll give you a quick look at the clip just so you get an idea as to what the children saw, what they heard, and what they learned. So this is Symmetry for Kids. And I'll just give you a quick look at this one.
Symmetry standing next to me, I'm beside myself, I've got symmetry. Symmetry standing next to me, I'm beside myself, I've got symmetry. Bilateral splits you down the middle, rotational turns you around, slide or glide and moves you all over. There are so many types of symmetry to be found.
Now, as you can see, it's a really great clip to show the kids, I think because of the bright coloured shapes and also because of the catchy song. And I really like using the video because I think it's great for those kids who tend to become easily distracted or those who learn verbally, because you may choose to display the lyrics for the kids and have them sing along to the video in order to enhance their learning, because it is quite repetitive, and as we all know, that has so many benefits for children in the early years. Now, as this is the first time that many of my children had experienced symmetry, we then began a short discussion on what we'd seen in the video. So we talked about the types of symmetry, we talked about the shapes that we'd seen in the clip, and I had children tell me what they had seen and where the line of symmetry was. So we then came together, we drew them on the board, and we looked at our symmetrical points and lines like so. So I would draw, for example, a flower or a star or a love heart on the board, and I would ask them to come and draw a line down the middle to tell me what type of symmetry it was. And the same was for objects like leaves, where they again would draw a line down the middle and show me a line of symmetry. So we then began our nature walk throughout the yard and around the centre, and we're lucky enough to have an enormous yard here with plenty of trees, flowers, and other plants and objects. So the children could observe them and take photos for later study. I then printed the photos off for the children, and I had them work in small groups of about 2 or 3 to determine which of the objects were symmetrical. Now, in order to do this, they were given a small handheld mirror, just like this one here, and they were then able to investigate for themselves and find a line of symmetry with their photographs. So we had our photo, and the children would cover up half of the photo with their mirror in order to see whether it was symmetrical, and as you can see with the leaf it is. So after they'd finished testing out their pictures, we came back together for a group time and we worked together to categorise the different objects, and we created a poster with 3 different headings. We had lateral, rotational and non-symmetrical, which was for the objects that we found didn't have a line of symmetry. So we then worked together in order to place them under the correct category, and we did lots of examples together. We drew them up on the board, and I had children come up and demonstrate to me and to the others how they found their line of symmetry with their photograph and with certain objects. So hopefully I've given you some ideas as to the direction that you could possibly head when you're looking to teach symmetry in nature. Obviously, I had to adapt my lesson in order to suit the needs of my 4-year-old group, but you can obviously adjust it in order to suit various age groups. So thank you for listening, and good luck with your future teaching.